رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Anybody want to answer a question? Why is it that we like watching movies? Anyone? Why is it that we like watching movies? The dramas. They're entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because they're entertaining, because they generate some feelings inside us, right? So if you're watching a love movie, it's generating all these loving hormones inside us. If you're watching a scary movie, you know, it's creating these fearful hormones inside us. We're getting scared, yeah? If we're watching a sad movie, we start crying, the tears start falling. We know that it's not true, right? We all know that we've paid £10, we're sitting in this theatre, we've got the popcorn, there's an image that's being played in front of us. We know that it's all fictional, right? But we still get caught up in the whole drama of it, whether that be in a movie theatre, whether that be on the sofa at home. But we get caught up in the whole emotions. It's real to us. Afterwards, you're telling your child when they're trying to, they don't want to go upstairs now because they're scared. It was just a movie, but why is it? They're felt, because their subconscious mind, because we have two minds, we have the conscious mind, which does all the critical thinking and everything, and the subconscious mind, which doesn't do no thinking. Whatever you feed it, and you feed it through images, it will think it's real. So when we're watching those movies, our body thinks whatever it's watching is real, and therefore that's why we generate those emotions in our body. Okay? So, when you're watching your daily dose of drama on TV, on the TV, and the mother-in-law, she's going to do something evil to the daughter-in-law, and you're like getting all psyched up and really getting frustrated, and you're on the edge of your seat, and you're hoping that the mother-in-law's plan is going to fail, and then all of a sudden the episode ends, and you have to wait one more week now to watch this drama, and you're feeling really, really frustrated, and for days and days and days you're thinking about this episode and how this mother-in-law is the most evil creature on the planet, yeah? So your mind is still creating these emotions. So the image that you fed it is creating all of these chemicals. The chemicals are being released in your body. Okay, whether that be happy hormones, whether that be fearful hormones, stress hormones, but whatever you fed it, it's creating. Your body's having a physiological, biochemical reaction. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to do a small experiment. Close your eyes. Okay, so close your eyes and imagine there's a lemon in your hand. Okay, you've got a knife in your other hand and you're cutting the lemon, slicing it through the middle. Now you've got a cut lemon in your hand, in your right hand. You're opening your mouth and you're squeezing that lemon juice into your mouth. What's happened? Right? Your mouth started watering, didn't it? You started getting that watering feeling and that sour and that bitterness. I mean, come on. You knew that this was just an experiment, right? You knew that this was all imagination and none of this is real. But what did your body think? It was really happening. See, that's how the subconscious mind works. You give it an image and it will create the chemical reaction. Whether that image is real or not, it will still create the reaction. So you're wondering, what's this got anything to do with, for today's reminder, which is on forgiveness. Okay, so we go through life and we have certain experiences with certain people, that's dunya. We have good experiences and we have bad experiences. And there's some experiences that we have that, leave a really sour taste in our mouth. We have, if somebody's been unjust to us, treated us unjustly, someone's backbited about us, they've spread lies about us, someone in our workplace has treated us negatively or made a passing comment or a judgment about us, and which we haven't liked, okay? And so we feel hurt, we feel upset, we feel unsettled. And therefore we carry this this baggage around with us. And some of us have been through some great trials and tests with relationships and with people and life circumstances. So we carry a lot of judgments, a lot of anger and resentment and, unforgiving thoughts about the other person. And you are 110% right for having those feelings. In your head, you're absolutely justified, and you can write a book on how justified you are for having these feelings. But the thing is, your mind knows no different. It can't differentiate whether you are justified for holding those feelings or unjustified. Either way, you're giving it an image, because what are you doing? You're playing that story over and over in your head, that argument over and over in your head, and the argument in your head is worse than what actually happened in real life, because, we're women, and we have an amazing imagination, so that it's bigger than Bollywood. Yeah, so we're creating a bigger story in our mind of what could have happened, and all of these lies that this person's told about us, and how we're responding, and so we're creating this story, and it's playing over and over and over and over and over in our head, and our body what is it doing? It's releasing that chemical reaction over and over and over and over. So we can't let go of those unforgiving thoughts. That person has done us injustice, but our body doesn't say, well, okay, because you're justified, I won't dump any stress hormones in your body. It's still going to be dumping those hormones, whether you're justified or not. And what happens over time, and you probably experienced this, like with myself, I experience a lot of tension in my shoulders. So when I'm like stressed out, worried and things, I hold a lot of tension in my shoulders. That's where I carry my stress. Some of you might experience headaches, some of you might experience it in your hips, whatever it is. But your body will start showing signs of whatever thoughts, whatever judgments, justified or not justified, it's going to start showing it up in your body. And what does that do? It weighs you down, doesn't it? You feel tired, you feel exhausted, you feel drained out. Okay? So you holding those unforgiving thoughts about the other person, it's like drinking the poison and hoping that the other person is going to die. It doesn't happen like that. You're actually, by those unforgiving thoughts, you're actually drinking that poison, and you're actually destroying your own self as a result of it. So forgiveness, when we talk about forgiveness, people find it really hard to forgive, because it's like, yeah, but that person really did me wrong. We're not doubting that, and we're not arguing about that, okay? That person, whether they did you wrong or not, is fine. It's like, they say when you've cut yourself, and what do? We keep rubbing salt on our own wounds over and over again. That person's done the damage, but what do? We keep putting the salt on our wounds over and over and over again. And we're actually destroying ourselves as a result of it by harboring those ill feelings and those unforgiving thoughts. That's why when you actually forgive the other person, you're actually doing yourself a favor, because you're choosing that, Allah is their judge. Okay, and I refuse to harbor any ill feelings in my own heart, because it's going to destroy me spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Okay, so you're doing yourself a massive favor. And when we're actually doing that, and you'll also realize this, that when we actually let things go, you'll actually feel a big weight has lifted off your shoulders. You'll feel lighter. It's what's actually happened is you've changed that negative energy that was in your body, and you've transmuted it, meaning you've changed it. You can't destroy energy. You can either change energy from one state to another state. And what you've done by changing that negative energy in your body, you've either neutralized it or you change it into a positive. Okay? And you might not feel positive. You might not have all these loving thoughts about the other person, but at least if you've neutralized it, at least you're not destroying your own body. Yeah? You're not destroying yourself as a result of it, and you will feel lighter. And you are ultimately, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of judge, and He's the one who recompenses you for your patience. So, it's not easy to do, but it's something that we have to practice. And if you can look at it from this perspective, that, hang on a second, my body is feeling like this, therefore what is it that I'm holding within me, and become very aware of what's happening, and realizing that me actually harboring these thoughts isn't benefiting anyone. That person's done what they needed to do and they've got on with their life, but it's me that's constantly reminding myself and keeping myself stuck in a energetic bond between myself and that other person. And until I release that bond, I'm going to be forever suffering as a result of it. And you might even realize this, that sometimes when somebody mentions that person, even though you think you've forgiven that person, but 5-10 years later you might see the person, or somebody mentions the name of that person, and instantly your body will start feeling this. Yeah, it shows that you haven't really forgiven and let go of those emotions inside you. So these are like indicators that you're still harboring something inside you. So it's important to acknowledge that. It's important to check in your body, and it's important that we learn to release these emotions that are detrimental to our state on every single level. So inshallah, if you benefited from this, it's purely from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any mistakes are mine. Ma'oun subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.